Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 with brackets text editor video. This is Jamie from System 22 and Web Design and TechTips.com. In our last video we added some menu and menu decorations up here. What we're going to do in this video is add something called Scroll Spy, and what that's going to enable us to do is when we scroll down, our little link will go across to the appropriate section. So to do that, we've got to add some HTML, and we've also got to add a bit of script. So if I pop over to a site called Scroll Spy, try saying that 3 times, Scroll Spy. I'll put this link below the video here. This is what we're going to use here and have a read through. And basically what it does, here's the example here, when you scroll down, when it gets to the next section or next ID, basically the nav links will change to that particular ID. So we've got to copy a few things from here, and it explains how to do it, and I'll go over all this step by step for anybody that might get confused by it. It's pretty easy though. So the first thing we want to do, we want to go into our CSS and make sure it's got on the body tag the position of relative. Anybody that's been following along with this will already have a CSS file, but if you don't, you want to put the dot body and position relative in there. So I'm just going to copy that position relative. I'm going to open up my site files, and here's our site files. This is what we built from scratch. There's our index.html that we'll be working on, and our CSS folder with our CSS file inside of it. There it is. All we need to do is right click and open it with brackets, which is our text editing software. And again, if you've not been watching these before, brackets is awesome and it's free, and you can download it from a link below this video. So here's our body tag right here. And all we need to do is paste that code that we just copied on top of it. Position relative. Save, Control S. That's fine. Let's have a look what else we need to do. And we don't need that folder, so let's move that one back out of the way. Okay, and it says in your body tag, in your HTML, you want to include data scroll, data target, and the name of whatever your nav bar is there. So let's just copy that, Control C, and let's open our HTML. I was wrong, we do need this folder. Let's just open this one with our bracket software. And here's our index.html. Here's our body tag. If we look at that site again, move that back out of the way. There's the body tag. This is what we need to put in there. So let's just add that after the body there, making sure we haven't clipped off that closing tag. And their target name is navbar example. Ours, if we look down here, it's going to be this here, because here's our list of all our menu items here, and our ID or name is navbar example default. So we want to make sure we've got the same one there. So we'll copy that and replace what they've got here. Notice I've got a bit of red there. I think maybe because I've got a gap there. I haven't got a gap there, I should say. There we go. Those two are attached. Another good thing about brackets is if you do something wrong, then you usually get a red warning. Let's just undo that. You see it's giving us a red warning there. Red's not a good color to have on your screen, and we just put a space in there, and that fixed that. So let's save that, Control S. Let's have a look, see what else we need to do. We're going to need to put some script in, I'm sure. Here we go. After adding the position relative, we've done that. We need to put this script in. Now you can either put this in a separate JavaScript file and call it in, or we can do it the easy way, just add it to the bottom of our site inside a couple of script tags. So let's copy this. Let's go back to our HTML, And we want to go all the way down to the bottom where our script tags are. Here we are, script, script, script. And we want to put it after the last one. And let's just put a little comment in there. You see these just up above? Those are comments. And what this does is it stops the browser from reading it as code. And this is scroll spy, isn't it? Oh, I put a 1 there instead of an exclamation. That's not going to work. It's really important when you're coding to get things right, because the simplest little mistake will mess everything up. So now we need to open some script tags, which is just a script. And Divi will put it, add the closing tag for us. Then all we need to do is paste in that bit of code that we copied there. There it is. And if you look here, it's got their default name in there again. We want to put our navbar name in. Navbar example default. What an exciting name. You can change this to anything you want as long as you change it everywhere else. When we used our brackets to put in a default template, that's what it gave the name. And you want to make sure you do not clip off those little inverted commas there, and you do include the hashtag. So it's hashtag and then the name of your default navbar or navbar. Okay, so we've got a script, we've got it closed in some script tags. That should be good to go. Let's just save this. Now to make this work, if you read through their documentation, and please do, I do recommend it, you have to have IDs. Now, any div can have an ID. For instance, this has got an ID of carousel full. So let's give this next section, if we look at our site, we'll call it the about section, I guess. Let's go back to our site. So we've got the carousel here, and if we go down, we'll call this section the about section. Call it what you want, but I'm going to call it the about section. And as you see right now, we just put that in there for a bit of decoration, and we added those hover effects last time. We'll probably get rid of that one just there in a minute when we've done this. And we'll give these some IDs just to show you what's going on. Okay, let's go back to our HTML and give it some IDs. So here's our what I'm calling the about section. So just before the class, I'm going to put it ID equals, open and close some brackets, and in between whatever you want to call it. Like I say, I'm calling mine about. And we'll give it a little space in between those attributes there. And let's just save that. Okay, now we've got our ID in that. We want to go up to our nav menu and tell it that that's where the ID that we want to go to. So we've got that one. Here we are. Here's our about section, and we just need to put about after the hashtag, because that will go to any ID. If you've got an ID and you push hashtag and the name of the ID, that's where it will go. There's our about. There's our ID about. Just going to make sure you've got that hashtag in there. Make it work. Right, let's save this. Go back to our site. And that little scroll spy should work. Save and back to the site. Quick refresh. Now when we scroll down to this section, our little line should go across. Of course, that one's going to stay there because we've put that there just for decoration. But we will get rid of that in just 1 second. So let's scroll down, and we're scrolling, and we're scrolling, and there it is. It's appeared. And like I say, that one stayed, but we'll get rid of that one. Okay, one slight issue there I've got. going a little far before it actually hits it. We want it to hit that. We want that line to appear as soon as it gets to this section here. So basically when it gets to about there, or even slightly before, even there will do, you know, just. But at the moment it's not doing it until we get to there, which is almost, well, it probably is the height of this nav bar here that we need to offset. So how do we do that, you ask yourselves? Well, good question. I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. It's really easy. We need to add something to our little script right here. If we go down to where we put that little script in there, right to the bottom where our scripts live, and here it is. It's after this. So we're going to need to put a comma in because we need to put a... I know this is not a JavaScript course, I apologize. But we do need to do this. And it's really easy. Actually, I'll make sure I haven't got a space there. That's fine. So we've got that already. Just put a comma after it. Then you're going to write the word offset. O-F-F-S-E-T colon. And the amount that we want it to offset, let's guess at 100 pixels, which is just 100. And save, Control S. And back to our site. Do a refresh. Now when we scroll down, let's see when it appears here. Let's drag the bar. And we're scrolling, and we're scrolling, and we're scrolling. Yeah, that's a lot better. It's still a little bit late. That's where we want it. That's where it is. So, let's give it another 10 pixels. Save that, Control S, 110. Back to the top. And refresh. Scroll down. Bingo. Okay, it's actually doing it just slightly before. Oh, yes, about 2 pixels before. Not that really matters. I'm pretty happy with that, but let's just see if we can get it bang on. So maybe 2 pixels, possibly 3 pixels. Let's go back. Getting a little anal here. So we want to take a couple away because it's doing it a little early. Let's try 08, 108. Save. If you notice, we're not putting the px behind this pixels. It already knows to adjust it in the pixel amount. Okay. Let's refresh. I did save, hopefully. Back to the top. And let's start scrolling. Do it with the bar because it... Ching. That's pretty much bang on. Ching. Ching. Yep, that's going to do fine. I'm happy with that. Okie doke. Let's get rid of that little one that we don't want there. So back to the site again, and that was the active. We may have to put this back in when a later video. I'm going to do some smooth scrolling so it scrolls to these sections automatically, smoothly. So here's our first link there with the active class that we told it to have an underline with. Let's just delete that. Save it. Now that should be gone. Now in order for it to have an underline on that home section, because if we save it now, which I've just done, Control S and back to the site, refresh, that line's going to go away, and we kind of want it to have the line there when we're at the top. When we're here, we want to have it the line there to say we're at the home section. Not that it's not obvious, but that's what I want. So let's just do the same as we did for the about section. I've got a feeling this carousel has already got an ID, so all we need to do is add that to our navbar menu items right here on the href. There's the ID for the carousel. It's called carousel full. Copy that and put it just after our hashtag. Remember, we've got to keep the hashtag in there. Save it, Control S, back to our site. Now hopefully when I refresh, that little line should appear back under there. Bingo. And when we scroll down to the about, it should jump to the about section. There we go. And when we get further down, when we've built more of the site, of course it'll do the same thing there. Well, I hope that's been useful to you. In the next video, I'll probably add some smooth scroll so it does this automatically when we go to our sections. Instead of just jumping to it, it'll just smoothly scroll down. I mean, that works fine. But yeah, we need to have an offset on there as well, if you see. But anyway, we'll do that in another video. I hope that's been useful to you. If it has, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, please take one of our courses below. We have some massive discounts for our YouTube subscribers. And we also have some great free courses down there. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.